Welcome to Purpose Project. My name is Leslie Pagel, and I am so glad that you are here with us today. In today's episode, I sit down with Maile Collmer. Maile is an entrepreneur, she is a connector, and she is an expert in building success through people. Maile believes that confidence, growth, and achievement are never solo pursuits. They're built through relationships, through collaboration, and through purpose-aligned teams. Together, we explore how purpose shows up in the workplace, and Maile brings energy, clarity, and actionable wisdom for anyone who is looking to build success by leaning into what matters most, people and purpose. Let's take a listen. Maile, thank you for joining Purpose Project. I'm looking forward to talking with you about purpose in the workplace.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Before we dive into purpose in the workplace, tell us a little bit about you. Who is Maile, both personally and professionally?
Well, growing up, I was super shy and introverted. And we lived in Hawaii when I was a kid. For my first decade, we lived in Hawaii. And my parents met there, and that's how I got a Hawaiian name. And being shy and introverted, I was a huge bookworm, and I still am. I read lots of books. I love to read. My mom gave me a love of learning and my entrepreneurial spirit as well. and I was definitely blessed with beautiful, great, loving, kind parents. And when I was a kid, we moved from Hawaii to California, and I had to start in a new school. And I will always remember having to go to school in a new place. I felt like an outsider. I was, of course, very shy and nervous about being in a new place and meeting new people and will I be accepted? And I had to correct everybody on my name because in Hawaii, Maile's a normal name, and in California, it's not as common. So I just remember that feeling of being alone, being an outsider, not sure what I would say and how I would connect. And one of the ways that I grew out of my shyness was by joining groups and teams. I got really involved in lots of different activities, and I found myself very interested in dance, and I got really involved in dance. So much so that in college, I was in a performing arts group, and we toured all over the US, and we performed in stadiums like Meadowlands and Mile High and like big
Oh,
stadiums and venues, and it built my confidence because first of all you had to compete to get in, so you had a certain level of excellence, and I was surrounded by other people who were also driven and competitive in that way, but really smart and interesting, and just a really eclectic group of amazing people that I toured with for 4 years. And by having my team by my side, it built my confidence. And I went further than I ever imagined I could go on my own. So when I got out of college, I joined the entrepreneurial world. And when you go get into business, people say, oh, you need business, you should go network. So I went to a networking event, and it was so funny because I went to this very crowded, very busy Chamber of Commerce mixer, right? And when I first walked in, I had those butterflies like I did as a grade school kid walking into that classroom. And I was like, wait, I thought I grew out of this. And I was like, you know what? I just need to meet some people. And I decided what I would do is build my business team, just like I had my dance team and my debate team and all the team things I did. And that's how I approached my business. And I found that working as a team works in business, just like as it does in sports and competitive athletics and things like that. So those are some of my life lessons and what I bring to the work and the passion that I have for what I do and who I help. So that's a little bit about me personally and professionally. I guess I kind of didn't say what I do exactly.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your business.
So so when when I first was out of college, I went straight into real estate. So I was a realtor for 20 years. And about 13 years ago, I stopped selling real estate and started coaching. And so I've been coaching for the last 13 years and really specializing in business development through relationship. I also do some speaking and I also lead mastermind groups. So last year, I teamed up with two of my business friends and we created a new company called Business Acceleration Group because we saw a gap in how business owners and entrepreneurs were being supported. There's lots of networking groups. And of course, there are coaches like me, but we wanted to create something that was a community-based learning environment that's mastermind, like Napoleon Hill talked about it, to create that support with proven marketing and business strategies along with the peer support. So businesses could accelerate faster and have that support from others.
Love that.
Alone in business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to dig into the topic of purpose in the workplace, both from your perspective as an entrepreneur and how does it show up for you, but then also in the work that you're doing with other organizations to help them accelerate their growth. Let's talk first about what you're seeing out there as you're working with other organizations. Does the topic of purpose ever come up as a way of helping your clients achieve their goals?
I see it tied together all the time. So I work with really small businesses. So most of my clients have 10 or fewer employees. Like the largest businesses I work with have maybe 30 employees at max. So I'm working with really small businesses, and some are actually solopreneurs as well. Maybe they're an attorney, have a paralegal or something like that. So small businesses, most of them have 10 or fewer employees, like I said. And with that, a lot of people come into business, into the entrepreneurial world with a passion and a purpose, right? They have a drive to help people. It's typically that drive to help people, and they saw a gap or they saw something that was lacking in their lives, and they saw their business as a way to fulfill that lack or gap. Yeah. And so I see it really driving a lot of small business owners is that purpose. They're in it to serve and to help people for a reason.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is a lot of entrepreneurs are identifying gaps and they're starting their business, much like you. They're starting their business to fill the gap. Is there a connection between their individual purpose, like as an individual, my life's purpose is XYZ, and I see this gap in the market, and so I'm going to fulfill my life's purpose by creating this organization? Or is it separate from their individual purpose? So maybe their purpose is completely distinct, but they realize that there's this gap in the market and they have an opportunity to fill it, and it's not really connected to them individually.
Majority of the people that I work with, there's a huge connection. And it's actually their differentiating value. It's what they bring to the table that gives their business their unique value. It's definitely tied to their service. So a
Yeah.
lot of my clients are service-based businesses. And
Okay.
so when you have someone who says, I offer this service and we give great service, we have great customer service, we deliver timely, we're do all check all these boxes. That's one thing. But when you say the reason that we are so dedicated to give our clients such great service is this purpose and this passion and this reason why we're in business in the beginning, that that purpose, it it gives an extra layer of trust. So when you have
Yeah.
passion, it just shows that you care. And
Hmm.
when someone's passionate about something, they study it. They live it, eat it, breathe it, right? It is part of who they are. And if you have someone that says, I clock in and click out, and this is what I do for my business, you get one level of service. But if you're like, I eat and breathe and live and love this, that's a different level of service.
Absolutely. And speak a little bit to the customer side of it. I get how someone who's not as passionate is going to come across, but what's the benefit to customers and to the business of creating that passion and that purpose?
There's a level of integrity that's tied to, I care about this.
Mhm.
So the business owner is going to want to do everything to do right by the client and give that client the best. So it's absolutely a customer benefit to work with someone who has passion for what they do.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that their experience is going to be better, the customer's experience, because
Mhm.
it feels to me as you're describing it as the passionate person may go above and beyond. They're going to create an energy about their interactions that's up. It's an up energy. So that's naturally going to feel better to the customer. But it
Mhm.
also seems like it's going to be more than just the experience. Like they might get more value in that relationship. There might be other business outcomes that come as a result of it.
Yeah, and I think that people who live with passion and purpose, they're interested in people and they care about people, and so oftentimes it leads into other things. So if I'm talking to a client and I might be, helping them with some aspect of their marketing, I want to know more about them and what else is going on in their life, especially with business owners, right? They are their business. And so
Mhm.
if something's happening in their personal life, it can affect their business. So when you care, um, you find out more about the person and then you can help them in other ways. Because I can connect them, because I know so many great businesses, I can connect them with other people who can help solve their problems in other aspects that I don't solve their problems in. And I think other businesses do this as well. Other business owners, at least the ones that I work with, when they care about that client, they connect them with the resources that they need, that business owner doesn't provide. They help them, of course, with what they provide. And then if they need other things, then they help them get connected to the right people that can help them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, talk a little bit about your clients where it's not the solopreneur, but they've got a team of people. And you said it's a smaller organization in terms of number of employees.
Mhm.
The thing that I'm interested in learning more about through Purpose Project is this concept of shared purpose,
Mhm.
right? Because then it becomes less about the individual purpose, my purpose in life, my passion is all these things. And
Mhm.
then it becomes this collective, and that feels different and it feels like it could be harder. What do you see in terms of creating shared purpose in the organization?
Well, a couple of things with that. So, one of my clients is a general contractor, and he's building this great business. And I will even say he's creating an empire. He's got multiple businesses, and he has a real passion to build and grow, and to help his employees grow and develop. And he has a lot of passion for serving his employees as he builds the business and together. And so he's like, he came to me and he's like, I'm opening them up. I'm said we're doing this, but I don't have like something that like really says it or ties it together. So what we did is we worked on a mission statement for him, and we created that mission statement together. With I did an intake. We had a conversation with specific questions and created this mission statement. He's like, oh, this is it. And he's like, this ties everything together. I can share this with my team, and then they can see this is our mission. This is what we're here for, and this is who we serve, and this is how we do it. And this is and it ties it together for them, and it gives something succinct for all the team members to be able to articulate it as well. And they have some ownership in it as well. So just having a clear mission statement that means something, and that ties all of that together is really helpful. I'm sure, as you know, having activities and team meetings and things like that also helps. So, some of the things that I've done is, for example, with an all woman law firm in San Francisco, we had a team meeting where we were doing team building and really learning about each other and finding each woman's purpose and passion for why they're in the business, and then tying that to the owner's purpose and passion. And you could see how it was all connected, and you could see how why they were such a good fit on the team, because each one has an individual story and a different individual background, but there's a tie and there's a connection. So if you bring that forth and connect the dots, then it creates a stronger team, and the whole team has the combined purpose and passion.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's two things you talked about. One is coming together and creating this mission statement for the organization, which is a tool, right, for unifying everyone, for getting everyone unified and pointing in the right direction, in the same direction.
Mhm.
And then the other thing I heard is that every individual within the organization has their own unique interests, passions, purpose, and through dialogue, creating dialogue that allows those to be shared. Sometimes we might be able to find that thread that weaves through everyone that can create that collective purpose.
Absolutely.
Do you see a difference between mission statement and purpose? Just out of curiosity, because mission statement has come up multiple times in season 2.
There's a tie because in a mission statement, you're going to share who you are and what you do, who you serve, and how you serve them. That's unique. And an underlying character of that are your values. And so values are tied to purpose. And part of that, how we serve in our unique way, is oftentimes tied to that purpose. And usually, a really great mission statement will also have a little touch of inspiration there at the end as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that oftentimes is a touch towards that purpose as well, because we're looking at that bigger picture of inspiration of like how we're going to how our business impacts the world positively. So there is a tie in there. Having your purpose statement is going to be different than your mission, but there should be, like you said, a thread
Yeah.
that is a through line.
Yeah. And one of the things that I heard there, Maile, is that the purpose is about the difference that you're going to make. Is that how you would? Yeah. Yeah. So it's one thing to have a mission statement, and another thing to have kind of everyone come together and we find this thread that creates our commonality, our purpose. But talk a little bit about what's next, because one of the things that I'm hearing is we put these mission statements up on the wall
Mhm.
and we don't live them out every day, or it's like a check the box thing. Yeah, we got a mission statement and we're done. What happens after you do these workshops with each other? How do you create a living environment where purpose is alive and thriving in the organization?
Well, I've seen a number of businesses actually um, printed or painted or mounted on the wall, so it's present. And just having it there doesn't mean that we're going to practice it. So one of the best things is whoever is leading the company, they are communicating and we're messaging to the team. And so it's in that messaging to the team at your office meeting, your team meeting, right? Is continuing to tie it to the mission, and even restating it in those meetings with passion and purpose, right? Not just like, oh, I'm reading the mission statement, but like tying it to your message for the day, and maybe even just taking one piece of it and saying, here's why we decided this wording, right?
Mhm.
Or saying, hey, do you see how when Leslie helped this person, like how that tied to our mission and how she really led by our mission, right? And led by our purpose. So you tie it and you reiterate it
Yeah.
consistently over time.
Yeah.
It's building culture
Yeah.
around it, and
Yeah.
so that's the leader of the organization needs to continually message and communicate it, and like I said, an example is show how other members are embodying it
Yeah.
and carrying it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hear kind of keep it visible,
Mhm.
whether that's on the wall, as a mural or whatnot. Keep it visible in terms of your communications and then role model it, but then also let other people know about the role, how it's being role modeled in the organization, share stories as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine a company puts this effort together to create this mission statement and there's some energy behind it and
Mhm.
they're doing all these things, and then in the blink of an eye it's 3 years later. you
Yeah.
know does does it stay active, and does that same energy stay with it, or does that evolve and change too?
Well, it depends. So, like I said, like usually the owner is in charge of really designing the mission statement, and um, it's good to revisit it from time to time. Does this still feel like a fit, or have we evolved? Have we shifted things? Do we need to make some adjustments or start from scratch and do it all over again? So it's good to revisit it every now and again, every few years probably, and make sure it does still feel like the right fit. And one of the great things about being a business owner is you can change it at any moment. It's your business. You can, and one of the things we learn as business owners is that we're ever evolving. Like when you open your doors day one of a business, what you know about the business, even if you've been in that, like you have a lot of businesses are started by experts, right? Or technicians, or so they have a certain expertise, right? And so oftentimes they've worked for another company or they did it previously. And so they already know the business somewhat, right? But being a business owner is a totally different thing than just doing the work.
Right.
and having that expertise. So when we open our doors day one, we think we have an idea of what this business is going to be like. We think we have an idea what our ideal clients are going to be. What's our target market? What's our messaging? What's our, what are our offerings? Whatever, what are the services we're providing and all of that. And through experience and through, implementing marketing strategies or hiring employees or doing all the things, and having experience with clients, um, you really go, oh, like I thought my target was this, but I really like we're this is really where our strengths come to play and we really serve people well. And they're great clients for us and we're a great fit for them. Right. So you learn by doing. So things shift in our business all the time. So we do need to revisit what is our target market? Are we going after it clientele? Are we reaching them in the right way? And the same is true of our mission, our vision, our values, our purpose, our goals, all those things, and keeping that in alignment with where we are. And you can revisit it every year, every 6 months, every 5 years, whatever that time frame is for you, as a business owner. But it's yours to play with and to refine to make it fit.
Yeah. Well, what that makes me think of is season one of Purpose Project was very much focused on individual purpose. It was all about what can we learn from people with clarity in their personal purpose, and they're actively pursuing it. And one of the learnings was that purpose changes. It's not the same in our life. It evolves and changes. And it was this concept of my purpose for now is this. And what I hear from you is that applies in business too. A business, as it's evolving, it's responding to market conditions, it's responding to gaps in the market or new competitive threats. The business purpose evolves as well. And it sounds to me from your perspective or from your experience that it's the founders or the CEO's responsibility of kind of keeping their finger on the pulse of the market and determining, do we need to evolve our purpose and our position?
Absolutely. Yes. Well said.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. So, what I'm hearing is that purpose is helpful in terms of creating energy, creating an experience that customers value, that customers recognize. One, are there any other benefits of having purpose from your perspective?
Well, I think if people work and live with purpose, there's more joy, there's more happiness, there's more fulfillment.
Mhm.
And so if we get to work and be fulfilled, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So it just helps make the world happier because we're
Yeah.
happier. And also say with marketing, a lot of people are marketing their purpose. You've seen that with other companies. I guess there's a sock company that gives socks to people. Like that you see purpose in business and tied to marketing as well. And like I said, it can be your differentiating factor and your value you bring.
Yeah.
So it can expand to sharing that and inspiring others.
Yeah. Okay. So it brings energy to customers. It helps your employees' well-being.
Mhm.
It's leveraged in marketing as a competitive differentiation strategy. And ultimately, it's just going to make the world a happier place. Are there any downfalls, though, to purpose?
Sure, there can be situations where someone is so purpose driven in a certain direction that they don't look at the business as a business and making sure that it's making a profit and it's running accordingly. And maybe they need to make it into a nonprofit. um, Certainly, there could be some
Huh.
people who get a little into a certain purpose that doesn't serve the whole as well as it could, or keep the business running accordingly. But I would say that I don't see that as much. Usually the purpose really fuels and helps the business. And that can happen more with just business acumen and getting the right support to run your business as a business,
Yeah.
as well. So that could be,
Yeah,
really
it's a good
pitfalls.
point. I could see people getting so passionate, but not knowing how to monetize that in a way that drives sustainability for the business.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Any other disadvantages or potential risks to consider?
I will say a risk could be, um, it can be scary to be vulnerable, and it could lead to personal growth. So, and
Who
that
wants
may,
that? We just want to stay in our safe space. Say
so
more about that. That's interesting because it's to live on purpose, to have a business that is living on purpose. It sounds like can require some vulnerability. Am I?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
And it,
oftentimes what drives us is down deep. And as we grow, we have certain things that find their way into our subconscious. We have certain experiences that lead to what we believe, what we value, and what we believe about ourselves, and how we decide to operate in this world. And oftentimes that's, in between 7 and 12 years old, oftentimes. So that's where we get these imprints. And oftentimes, the thing that drives us and gives us passion and purpose is tied to an experience that we oftentimes want to shove deep down and never ever think or talk about.
mm,
And one of the biggest things we can do is to actually revisit it and see how it has created, our drive and our value and our purpose and our passion, and how it's fueled us in a certain way and given us this superpower,
yeah.
to help people in the way that we do and to care about people the way that we do. But it takes some vulnerability. And quite honestly, when I first experienced this for myself, what I found is that, um, it helped me have more confidence. It helped me connect better to other people. And it helped me reach a whole nother level in my business. And it gave me more freedom to accept myself as well,
Yeah.
and to celebrate myself. And I see this when other people go through it as well. So sometimes digging deep and finding that that point that gave us a lot of pain is actually our gift and what makes us so amazing,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And yeah, you mentioned vulnerability when I asked about the disadvantages. And so to me, it seems like maybe the disadvantage is not being vulnerable because you're not going to have that growth.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. And avoiding that vulnerability can keep you
Mhm.
stuck.
Yeah.
So that would be a disadvantage as well. And to be able to really live and soar as a person, it's just a different level of personal freedom to,
Mhm.
like, to accept yourself, and to really go, wow, this is my value, and this is this is what makes me unique and
Yeah.
beautiful, and
Yeah.
valuable to others.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm starting to learn from season 2, Purpose in the Workplace, is this similarity between a person that lives with purpose and leadership. I
Mm,
mean, it's almost like to be an amazing leader, you have to live on purpose. Because people that are living on purpose are really clear on who they are. Their actions are in alignment with who they are, and they're trying to make a difference in the world. And when I think about that, like, I think that's leadership, right?
absolutely. You can spot them in a crowd. There, like you said, there's an alignment,
Mhm.
right? And it's clearer. And when you talk to people, you can have just even at a mixer, you could get a different energy from someone who has done nothing to figure out their purpose and their passion and is just, what I call a business bot. Like, don't be a business bot, right? Um, but so we have the people who haven't quite figured it out, and then you have someone who has, and
Mhm.
you don't even have to ask them if they have a purpose or a passion. You feel it just in the conversation, and you might just be talking about the event that you're at, but you can feel it, you can sense it, and
Yeah.
and you can hear it if you pay attention, and of course if you ask, then it'll be even clearer. But you can sense it without specifically talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, the connection to vulnerability is to really understand who you are and to live in alignment with that to make a difference in this world. You have to uncover all those things that you've been covering up and look in the mirror to face, to be vulnerable with yourself, to face your fears, to accept and love what you see.
Strength and vulnerability.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious, a question I ask everyone on the show is, do you have a life's purpose? And if so, what is it?
My purpose is to help others build confidence, and to build community, and to find our teammates in business, and to create community wherever. I think that human connection is so important. I think that's definitely something that we learned from the pandemic is we need each other. But
Mhm.
I've always sensed that comes from my story of being shy and really finding my confidence, through having a team by my side, and how that community, can lift you even higher. And it's true. I truly believe together we can accomplish so much more than we can alone. And so that is what really drives me, is to help people build connection, help people, build community, help people build their confidence through that connection and that community.
Love it. Love it. Advice for any leader out there who is looking to bring more purpose into their team or organization. What advice do you have for that person?
I would say that journaling is a really great tool, and clarifying it for yourself. And then I would look around and see what what you see in your team, right? And see how that connects to your purpose and your passion, and you can see what ties together. So first, it helps to identify yours. Before then, you could, just like with the oxygen mask on the airplane, you gotta like put it on yourself first, and then you can give it to others. So look to yourself first, and then find the connection with the team. So journaling can help, you know, get out there, get the support. There's great books and podcasts and coaches and other people can support you in it as well.
Love it. Anything left unsaid on the topic of purpose in the workplace?
I just I just encourage everyone to continue to pursue it, to find your purpose, find your passion. I love that you're doing a whole podcast about this because I do believe that it will help your own fulfillment and the fulfillment of others, and it will make this whole world a beautiful, more joyful, happier place.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for being on Purpose Project. I am taking a lot away from our conversation, and I know others will too.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
There's something unmistakable about someone who's living and leading with purpose. You can feel it, can't you? It's something that isn't taught, it is something that is sensed. That's the kind of energy that Maile highlights in this episode of Purpose Project. She highlights how when we have purpose in our work, it can create a renewable source of energy, a source that fuels our work and radiates into our relationships with our team, with our customers, and our communities. And when others feel that energy, it builds trust, it creates momentum, and that's when purpose becomes contagious. Maile, thank you for being on Purpose Project, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. Purpose Project is brought to you for education and for entertainment purposes. This podcast is not intended to replace the advice that you would receive from a licensed therapist or doctor or any other qualified professional.